Nine Vicious is just another one of Young Thug's constituents. Nine Vicious is just another rapper rapping about the lifestyle. Nine Vicious doesn't have a lot of good wordplay. The only good thing about Nine Vicious's music is the production. I really don't think so, actually. After like the fourth listen of Studio Addict, I feel like I started to get it. Now, what Nine Vicious is doing is kind of similar to, like, I've talked about Jack White a lot, too much probably, but kind of similar to that, where Jack White would make things sound like grunge and punk and like cool for the time, and then he would slip in a lot of like references and a lot of deeper meanings and references to blues, especially. And I feel like Nine Vicious is doing that. We're hearing a lot of rapping about, the lifestyle. And he says in there, like, the lifestyle I live is so crazy, and I do this and I do that, these flashy things, etc., etc. But if you listen more closely, you give it a little bit more time, you're starting to really hear what Nine Vicious is saying about his life. He just wants to find love. He says in some of his lyrics he doesn't know if he can do this anymore. He is not trusting of people. He's tired of taking people's shit, it really sounds like. And he is really kind of like isolating himself in order to protect himself and to find his own way. And he even talks a lot about spirituality in this album. He talks about, I pray to God, I don't pray to Buddha. Do I know exactly what that means? No. But he talks about, and that's not just in that one track. I think it's the third track on the album. I'm all confused already again. And I don't know what I'm talking about. It's in F and N, right? That he talks about, I pray to God, but I don't pray to Buddha. And there's a couple of other tracks where he's talking about the same thing, where about he's praying to God, and then like in one line he says I pray to God, and then the very next line he talks about the things that he does with the women he associates himself with, and it's very graphic. A lot of that is very graphic, and I think that that is like the hard exterior to kind of like play the part, and then the meat and potatoes of this album is really Nine defining himself, finding himself, and protecting. Or I really feel like in this album he's talking about protecting himself from all of the outside stuff, and his life is really crazy, and he's sounding like this is his first studio album, and he's sounding already like he's talking about how he's so tired of the lifestyle. He talks about how he's been broke and how he knows how that is, and a lot of rap, especially from the Atlanta region that Nine Vicious is from, they come from really rough neighborhoods, and they've seen a lot of things. So they're talking about it. They're breaking it down. There's a lot of toxic masculinity. There's a lot of misogyny, and they are all trying to find their own way through it. And it's just, I think it's a lot. And it's just abstract enough where you can kind of interpret it on your own. Like, I don't think that you can take the things that he's saying, especially like when it gets to like, the more violent stuff or the more graphic stuff. I don't think that you necessarily need to take that at face value. I don't think that he's just spitting into the mic. I think that what he's saying has a deeper meaning. Maybe I'm stretching. Let me know what you guys think about Nine Vicious. I think that, yeah, and also the compliments that he's gotten on this are because of mostly the production. I think the production is also great, but I think that it's even more interesting to kind of sit down and really listen to what Nine Vicious is saying. So let me know what you guys think about this album if you listen to it. Follow me for more music news and music discovery, because I do this every day.